job has been in question for the Patriots. Bill Belichick sheds light on his team's quarterback and who the QB1 will be. Take a listen.
Take a look at the whole situation. I don't think you want to evaluate players at any position, off of one or two plays or maybe a day. So sure, it'll be a hard decision. See how it goes. So just let them play and try to do what we feel like is best for the team based on their performance.
Do you have an ideal time frame for naming a starter to help you get ready for the season?
No. Well, Cam's our starting quarterback. I think I've said that. So.
Wait, what? He says no, and then he says Cam's our starting quarterback. That's big. Our Patriots reporter Mike Reese gets up with us. Okay, so Mike, Bill said it right there. But should we expect Cam Newton to be the starter for Week 1?
Ryan, the short answer is yes. And I know some people might listen to what Bill Belichick just said and have a mixed message. Say, well, how could it be a hard decision, but Cam's our starting quarterback? So when I put that into the Bill Belichick translator, which has been built and refined over 2 decades of covering this Patriots team, this is what I come back with. Unless Cam falls off a cliff performance-wise here in training camp, or Mac Jones suddenly becomes Superman, the expectation is that Cam will be under center Week 1, and it ties to Bill's overall philosophy that he wants every player to reestablish and really establish their position on the team, and he expects Cam to do that as QB1.
Okay, I'm glad you had your translator on you because those mixed messages were rolling hard. Now, what are you seeing out of both of these quarterbacks in camp so far?
Well, Ryan, I'd start with Cam and just give him a little credit here. I think he's handled this whole situation like a pro. You really see him helping Mac along the way. And Cam also mentioned for himself, no off-season surgeries. He feels good, and it shows. His arm looks live out there on the practice field. Now, Cam's completing about 60% of his passes in competitive situations. Mac Jones around 50%, but I would caution anyone from reading too much into those numbers here through 4 training camp practices. And the final point I'd make, Ryan, Mac Jones, he's impressing his teammates. Brian Hoyer, the veteran quarterback, said he wakes up and he sees text messages from Mac Jones at 6 in the morning asking him questions about the team's offense.
Wow, it sounds straight out of the Tom Brady playbook. Completely dialed in is the rookie, as is Cam Newton. We'll see how this plays out. Mike, always great to talk to you. Great job reporting. Appreciate it. Let's bring our guys back in. Jeff Saturday, Sam Acho. Jeff, how do you see the Patriots quarterback situation playing out?
Listen, I think Cam is the guy probably the first 4 weeks of the season. Then I think Mac Jones takes this job. The one thing that Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels, their offensive coordinator, is consistency. And you heard what Cam Newton is doing from an accuracy standpoint in practice, right? And that's pretty much, you're going to get a little higher once you hit the games. But listen, Mac Jones was over 77% with a completion rate in college, the highest in FBS history. Look, I know his teams were better, but so was Joe Burrow's when he was in LSU. So when I look at Mac Jones, the mentality he has, I think he is going to be the guy because of the accuracy and putting the ball where it needs to be. The Patriots can scheme around it. When Tom Brady became their quarterback, I was there. I played in it. I understand the game. They weren't depending on Tom Brady to win games. They won't depend on Mac Jones. They'll build it around the defense, the running game, but Mac Jones will be a part of it in that play action that Josh McDaniels has and institutes. I think he will be the guy probably week 4 or maybe a week or 2 after that, but he'll ultimately take this job over.
Wow, as soon as week 4. Imagine that. Sam, are you buying Mac Jones's hype coming out of Alabama?
Man, I'm not buying nothing that Jeff Saturday is selling with that used car salesman tie on. Dude, this dude, to steal a line from Jeff Saturday. Man, I play more quarterback in the NFL than this dude over here. Mac Jones may be on the developmental squad, right? So you get it. Like there's practice squad, but there's guys who got to get reps. He needs his reps. He is not the second coming. He's not the savior. Give him time to get better. We talk about these percentages. He's 50% in practice. He's going against the 2s and the 3s. We understand that when the real game comes, you're not going against backups and second-string players. You're going against the best of the best. And so I think this is Cam's job. I think Cam's going to keep this job. I don't see Mac Jones coming in and stealing this job from anyone. Not to say he can't be great, but let's kind of just remove ourselves from this theory that the Patriots got exactly what they wanted in Mac Jones. He was the 5th quarterback taken. And no, they didn't trade up for him. They sat and they waited, and he fell into their lap. So they're happy that Mac Jones is on their team, but I don't expect him to start this season unless Cam gets hurt. And even if Cam does get hurt, I expect that to be Cam's job as soon as he's healthy again.
Wow. All right, Jeff, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, listen, this is not the Patriots division anymore. They're going to have to build back. They're competing with the Bills and potentially the Dolphins. Bill Belichick understands this. And listen, I love Cam, but his accuracy and his availability have been in question the last few years. I don't think that's going to change this season. I think ultimately the Patriots understand about building for the future. They understand Tom Brady's winning Super Bowls. They want to get back to that mold, and I think Mac Jones falls into it and fits into it.
Okay, we'll see how this is going to play out. I think it's interesting that already Mac Jones is entering the discussion. And then, of course, Bill Belichick saying last week, Cam's the guy, and now these statements. But we'll see how this plays out. Now, let's go to the NBA because we're just about 9 hours away from the start of NBA free agency. Now, here's the deal. Last night, the top free agent on the board, Kawhi Leonard, declined his $36 million player option for next season. Leonard recently had surgery to repair a partially torn ACL. Meanwhile, according to Woj, last night, Chris Paul also declined the $44 million player option on his contract for next season. The 36-year-old Paul led the Suns to the NBA Finals. Paul isn't the only point guard available, though. The Raptors' Kyle Lowry is a free agent, and his decision could have a domino effect throughout the league. It is going to be a very interesting day in the NBA, so we bring in Adrian Wojnarowski to get the latest as he gets up with us this morning. Woj, Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul, both opted out of their contracts yesterday. So starting with Kawhi, what's the latest on his free agency?
Well, if Kawhi Leonard wanted to do a long-term deal with the Clippers, financially it would have made more sense to opt into his deal and then extend off of that. But by declining that player option, it suggests that if he does return to the Clippers, it's on a shorter deal. Certainly, he can go out and just talk to other teams. There doesn't seem to be a natural landing spot for Kawhi Leonard based on cap space and contending teams out there. I think the expectation is still he'll return. Same with Chris Paul. Expect them to negotiate a new deal for him to remain with the Suns.
It is interesting, though, that he's thinking about keeping his options open, even though he might re-sign with the Clippers. Now, what should we expect to see with Chris Paul?
Yeah, I think Chris Paul, the opportunity to continue in Phoenix is going to be there. And I think you'll see he and the Suns work on a deal tonight once free agency opens at 6 p.m. And look at another, multi-year deal for him to remain with the Suns. Both sides are motivated to get something done.
All right, and then there is the 76ers, Ben Simmons. His name is still out there among trade talks. What's the latest on